I'm in very good company right now. Dr. Sam and his lovely wife Sabina just walked in the door. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
So, how are you doing?
Doing excellent, and I'm really delighted to be with you again and interviewed by you because you've been doing it so good.
Oh, well, I'm delighted to see you as always. And I sent you an email when I heard Sabina was coming. I said, "Oh, I always love seeing you, but I'm really excited to see Sabina." So, so glad you guys are here. And so, tell us a little bit about what's going on. Now, I'm going to do a little preface for those who don't know about you. If there's anybody that doesn't know about you yet, that would be a crying shame. We're going to fix that. But you did discover the first set of pyramids on the European continent in 2005, right? So, can you tell us how that happened? That's really a great story.
Now, the 21st century is really very exciting time to live in. In the last 25 years, I've been investigating the ancient civilizations, the pyramids all over the world. My PhD is in Mayan studies, so I've seen a lot of them in Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, El Salvador, Belize, but also pyramids in Peru, China, Egypt, Bolivia, Canary Islands, Mauritius.
So, would you call yourself a pyramid junkie?
Let's say pyramid research.
Okay.
Pyramid business is really very serious.
I understand.
business. So, in the spring of 2005, I first came to the central Bosnian town of Visoko, which is approximately 20 miles northwest from the capital city of Sarajevo. And the reason was something different than the pyramid. They wanted to show me the local museum. But when I came to this town, of course, I could see that the towering town is a huge hill, but with the regular geometry, four-sided hill, triangular faces, obvious corners. I took a compass, and compass showed me that the sides perfectly matched the cardinal points, east, west, north, south. And what I've learned up to that point was that the Mother Nature does not make a regular hill with four sides with a perfect orientation. So I knew that it was an artificial structure based on my experience with 250 pyramids in China, with thousands of them in Central America, and that's how the idea was born in my head.
So, let me just make perfectly clear that as far as everyone in Bosnia, in the town of Visoko, wherever, were concerned, this was a hill in this valley.
Exactly, this was
And
a
it was-
natural hill, and that's what they thought.
Right, and it was covered in 3 feet of dirt and trees.
Exactly.
It looks like a hill when you're up close.
Exactly
It isn't
right.
until you back away from it that you can really see the geometry of it, right?
That's correct.
And so people can actually see pictures of that on your website, right?
Yes.
What's the best
Yes.
website for them to visit?
Well, they can use mine, official, personal, which is www.samosmanagich.com. Sam, OSMANAGICH.com. And that website then is linked to official foundations websites and some other.
And all kinds of pictures and YouTube,
Pictures,
everything.
Exactly, YouTube video clips. So that was April of 2005. And then when I saw this pyramid, I climbed the top, and then across the valley I saw another hill also with the regular geometry, triangle faces, and the same thing, the perfect orientation to the cardinal points. So I was aware that we have at least one pair of pyramids, which I named the Bosnian Pyramids of the Sun and the Moon. And guess what? 6 months later, I realized why I named them that way. Namely, there is an interesting astronomical phenomena. When you watch the movement of the shadow of the Sun Pyramid, that shadow as the Sun moves on the horizon moves also towards the Moon Pyramid. And just before the sunset, the shadow covers the Moon Pyramid. Very obvious connection, and in symbolical way, it's saying that with the sun, that the rule of the day and the sun is over, and the rule of the night and the moon starts.
Okay. So, since 2005, it's been a bit of a wild ride, hasn't it? It's sort of one of those things that just sort of took your whole life and turned it upside down in a way, right?
In a way, yes. Until then, I was owning the business here in Houston, and thanks to that business, I was able to travel all over the world to write the books. But with this project, which very soon has become the most active archaeological site in the world, it would require all of my time. So in the last few years, every year in Visoko, we get hundreds of volunteers from all over the world, dozens of archaeologists, geologists, geophysicists, experts from different scientific disciplines. And it has become also the most exciting project, not only in archaeology or history, but maybe in the science in general.
Yes, and it's been, when I say a wild ride, I mean, anytime something's discovered of this magnitude, and I have to tell you, I tell people all the time that I think this is the most important archaeological find of any of our lifetimes. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, because with this discovery we can see the whole process started. We need to say goodbye to the scientific paradigm that we live in. This dogmatic world and dogmatic view needs to be placed behind us. And then with the Bosnian pyramids, we really became aware that the pyramids are not built only in Egypt and Mexico like they've been teaching in schools. They are built everywhere, on all 6 continents, from Latin America, from Asia, from Africa, even Australia, near Brisbane, Southern Europe, France, Greece, Bosnia, Italy. The world of the past was the world of the pyramids. But it's not just enough to change the history books. The pyramids are much, much more than that. They've been telling us, oh, they are built for the pharaohs as a tomb. Wrong. I mean, they are so complex, so much knowledge has been incorporated in those pyramids. Mathematical, astronomical, geometrical. And in order to understand them, you need to view them at least through 3 different realms: physical, energy, and spiritual.
I like that. But that's not the way things are viewed
today. But we need to change that. And we've been changing that.
I believe you, and I think that this site is, and you personally are really helping to make that change. And it's one of the reasons I've just been so excited to know you, to work with you, and to be able to go over there. I was there in, September of 2010. And
then you're coming back.
I'm coming back, yes, in June, bringing friends with me. I can't wait.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that a little bit later on the trip, because that is still open for a few more people to join us. If anybody's out there and wants to come really experience this really important site.
Somebody was extremely smart in the past to make those pyramids as huge energy machines, but that's not all.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you a question here, because so you're convinced, and so am I, but we're just going to have a conversation about it anyway, that these were created as an energy source, to use energy, to direct energy, however that is.
Yes.
And so the question is, what were they doing with that energy? Where was it going? I mean, and what do they need it for?
Yes. Well, right now we try to explain in scientific way that certain energy phenomena are produced by the pyramid, not like a natural phenomena. And we've been proving that, because if you have a group of scientists who come, who apply scientific protocols, bring their scientific instruments, record, detect, measure, and then based on their scientific protocols, you have another group of scientists from different countries with their own instruments. They repeat everything and they got the same measurements. It means it is something that is verifiable, so we can scientifically prove this phenomena. We can believe or not believe it doesn't matter what we believe. Our opinions are irrelevant. The only thing that matters is scientific argument. And this is what we have. We had 4 independent teams from Croatia, Serbia, Italy, and Finland, who recorded the same values on the top of the Sun Pyramid and in the underground labyrinth. Now, once we have these phenomena, we can ask ourselves, okay, what is the purpose? Well, when you have an energy beam which supposedly goes from the pyramid up, and what we measured was that as the signal moves away from the pyramid, it's getting stronger and stronger. So if it's getting stronger going up, it means it goes through our solar system. The sun is approximately 225 feet. The biggest Mayan pyramids in El Mirador, 330 feet. The biggest pyramid so far was Great Pyramid of Egypt, 450 feet. And the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is over 700 feet. So, these are the biggest ones. The element number 3. The orientation of the pyramid is almost always to the cosmic north. Chinese, Egyptian, Peruvian, Cahokia pyramids. We thought that the best orientation is the Cheops or Khufu pyramid in Egypt with the error of 0 degrees and 2 minutes. The Bosnian pyramids has the error of 0 degrees, 0 minutes and 12 seconds, the most precise orientation. The element number 4, you start moving that dirt and layers of soil and vegetation, you are finding rectangular blocks. According to 6 scientific institutions, that's the best quality concrete. The element number 5, the age of the soil is over 12,000 years, and we find organic material in the binding material. Have it analyzed in Poland in the lab for the radiocarbon datings. It's exactly 12,350 years, which makes those pyramids the oldest. The element number 6 under the valley is the most extensive network of tunnels and chambers, much bigger than Egypt, China and Mexico. And element number 7, in those underground tunnels we are finding a huge megalithic blocks, and they turned out to be ceramic blocks up to 18,000 pounds, much bigger than anything recorded in ancient history.
Okay, now I have to clear something up because it's something that I have been curious about for a long time. And I'll just start off by saying I ain't no scientist, I ain't no archaeologist, I don't know shit from Shinola about all that scientific stuff, you know. But when I hear that the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is already 30% larger than Giza, and I hear that it is covered in 3 feet of dirt and trees, and I have just common sense and knowing that gravity exists, I have to believe that the accumulation of dirt at the bottom of that pyramid has got to be more than on the sides of that pyramid. So how much bigger do we think that that pyramid really is when we start excavating, or you start excavating? I may be over there with a shovel, I don't know. But when we start excavating around the base of that pyramid, doesn't it seem logical that there's more to it that meets the eye?
On the top of the Sun Pyramid, we have a dirt which is approximately 40 centimeters or 1.5 feet. You go to the bottom, it goes up to 5 feet in height, of course because of the erosion. But when we look at the pyramids, especially its northern and eastern side, it seems that they are much, much longer. They extend much longer than we previously thought. Of course, once we find the foundation, we'll know exactly, where does the artificial structure start.
But it could be quite a ways underneath these.
It's another 350 meters in length. So the slopes.
Oh, you already know that.
Well, of course you know. It's about another 300. But what we did, with the help of the Russian geophysicist, we did some screening from the top of the Sun Pyramid, and they discovered that there is a network of underground tunnels 280 meters or 950 feet below the top. If it is 280 meters, that's much more than 220 that we thought that it was the real height of the pyramid. So, when we came with those numbers, the scientific community was in such fear. Oh, look at the biggest pyramids in Bosnia. I mean, they're already, frightened. So now if we come with another 300 feet, guess what their reaction would be?
Okay, so you're just, this is just going to blow everything out of the water.
Yes.
That's been discovered as yet.
Exactly right. And I think that these are not the only ones that will be discovered in the years to come. I mean, Russia, the Amazon, even Africa, Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia.
Even the U.S.
Of course, even the U.S. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest pyramids on the planet is on a U.S. soil. You go to southwestern part of the state of Illinois, to Cahokia State Park, there is not one but 200 pyramids. And the biggest one, which they called Monk's Mound, is 12% larger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Unfortunately, the archaeologists here, they don't even mention those pyramids in the history books.